welcome back. That was a lot to unpack. We just finished speaking with the Director General of the National Institute of Sports. Damilola Mfadi is still with us. Critical takeaways. I like hearing things that look like inaugural speeches and all that. I like hearing it because it sets the tone. And I think I heard the right things. Implementation is where my worry usually is.
The critical takeaway for me, and interestingly, is the fact that the DG described the institute as a dry bone. For me,
that's serious.
That's serious. It's probably the fourth or fifth time I'm listening to him since he got into office about 4 weeks ago, and I think he's said the same thing. And the fact that he's echoing the same thing over and over tells me that that's where his heart is.
Focus.
Now to get it done, because I can tell you that the forces that made that place that way are not asleep. So you must be ready for that.
For a fight.
And one other thing we must, and that is not to discard everything he had said, but I also believe that we can't always move on from a bad story. We must get to a point where we question people that have served in some of these places and put them to book. I mean, for the part, you said somebody spent 4 years. There were, unless the person wants to tell me that there were no funding at all for maintenance. We must question some of these things. We can't just keep moving on. Because when you don't question it and you keep moving on, okay, if he gets it fixed, and in 2-4 years he leaves that office, what becomes of it? These are the critical things that I think. Because in everything he has said, he did not mention trying to look at what went wrong and who is to be called to book.
Yeah.
Because he said, critical document establishing the institute, he has not been able to locate them in 4 weeks.
You know, Damilola,
and somebody is supposed to be in charge of those.
It's a rabbit hole. If we decide to go into that rabbit hole, we'll just go into many directions. I think it's a systemic problem where nobody gets to be held accountable for anything that goes wrong. And you said we should not move on, but that's what we usually do. We move on. So we're going to move on the show because that's the only choice we have. So let's move on and talk about the Women's African Cup of Nations. I'll go across in a few seconds to just look at the quarterfinal fixtures. But Damilola, before we go back to Austin, and Austin said something in his opening statement, which I think is key. I don't think there was ever a time at the quarterfinal stage the Super Falcons are playing on African soil and we are this jittery.
Well, it shows that times have changed, like they say. And for the fortunes of the Super Falcons, mind you, I'm saying Super Falcons, not the individual, not the players. Mm-hmm. Maybe the Nigerian women national team is a better word to use now, or a phrase. The times have changed. I was thinking before we came into the studio, and it dawned on me that this is probably the first time we're playing Zambia at any level at women's football, and we are not going in as clear favorite. We are not going in as clear favorite. If you forget the fact that we are 9-time champions, and for a moment you forget that you are a Nigerian,
it's just a game.
You cannot confidently say that we'll win. And there used to be a time you can say that.
Close your eyes.
What's the number of letters that make Zambia? We'll spell
6.
it. And that's 6.
All right, let me go across interesting times for women's football on the African continent. And tomorrow we have upon us the toughest test yet for the Super Falcons, because this is a game even the most optimistic fan would not say easily that the Super Falcons will win. We hope they do. So, Super Falcons of Nigeria up against Zambia. Of course, the venue is the Labi Zaole Stadium in Casablanca. Also playing tomorrow in the quarterfinal is Morocco and Mali. So, our focus is on tomorrow's games, but of course, hearts and minds with the Super Falcons of Nigeria. And let me just go to Austin. And I also like what Damilola said. Are they capable of winning? Yes. Do they look like a team that can go all the way? The answer is no.
Well, everything can turn around tomorrow. I've listened to Coach Justin Madugu talk about it. Asisato Shola also re-echoed the same thing. The players aren't particularly impressed with what they've done so far, but they're also glad that they've made it this far also. You know, let's not forget that we've come to a stage now where women's football is looking unpredictable. Look at what Botswana did when Coach Alex Maleta was saying, give us some respect. Some persons were laughing until we saw what they did to Tunisia. Late minutes, they got that goal, but it was just unfortunate that they couldn't advance. So, Yemi, anything can happen. I'm just staying confident and believing that tomorrow they will come out there and get into beast mode and silence everyone that's been talking, because you need to show workings. That's what you need to do. You know what? Let's quickly listen to Coach Justin Madugu. And when we come back, I'll get to Morocco so Cecilia can join us and tell us what she's seen, because she visited the training camp of the Super Falcons. Let's listen to Justin Madugu.
The Zambian team, like we all know, we have said severally that they are a good side. They have come of age and they pose a lot of threats based on the quality and the caliber of players they have in the team. That also comes with extra pressure on anybody. It comes with extra pressure because it doesn't give room for mistakes. You must get ready, fully prepared for them in all aspects. So for the game tomorrow, we know what they can do. We're equally prepared and ready for it, and we'll wait and see at the end of the game. It is only natural that people make different assessments, and then based on your assessments, obviously, Zambia, we cannot take away the fact that yes, they are a good team, but they're not unbeatable. They're a good side, but they're not unbeatable. Anything can happen in a game of football. Just to give you a simple example, at the World Club Championship, nobody expected what happened in the final. For us, we're preparing against Zambia, and it's Zambia that we're preparing for. We know the players, we know their strengths. We are also having our own plan of how to deal with that. The girls are in high spirit. They are fully ready for them. I mean, they too are very uncomfortable coming up against us because they know what we can also do. If you watch all the games we played, the strategies adopted by the opposition is not the same in all the other games. If you go and analyze all the matches, the game against Nigeria and the teams in our group was not the same approach that all the other teams adopted in their various groups. So it's going to be more of an open game, and then they do their bit, we also do our bit. For us, calm down. Oh. Calm down. Yes.
Coach Madugu nobody is calming down anywhere. It's not about calm down. You must show workings. Let's go to Morocco. Cecilia Morgbe is standing by. Cecilia, I don't know. Was he was telling calm down? Because nobody is calming down. We need to see the result. And he said the players are in high spirits. Are they?
Definitely. Mentally, physically, everything you can think about, they are actually in high spirits. But then the coming down came from the fact that all the skills that we have came, whereby it was as if we're going in the tournament as the underdogs. That's like us at the press conference today. And so he wanted to relax and just feel like, actually, the girl who does this Yoruba country, she was the one who put that point. And the ball was also after on the pressure to actually go past Zambia. So all the things are coming. So when I came, together because she was developing cold feet as we were facing Zambia. And so everything came together. Like, everyone calmed down. We are just facing Zambia. You remember when against team where we beat them at the group stage, that was 4-0. And that's when I think Barbara Banda was one of those guys that were around. She didn't play at time, She watched that game. But if you check the Zambian, they've actually changed over the years. People look at Barbara, people at Rachel, then you have Grace, and you put all these players together. And then you discover these players, they're hungry. There's what the coach said earlier at the press conference today, says they came to actually hunt. They came to hunt, and so they are hungry, and they're ready to feast. And we've seen what they've done to all the team players. They know how to score goals. That is key, really. When you have a team who can score goals, you understand you have to be careful of these players. Yeah, so I think for me, do I have that confidence going to this game against Zambia? I think still do. Yes, I still do. But the fact, most Nigerians here that spoken to saying they're not sure Nigeria can actually scale through. And I think when you're going into a game, is the city underdog. I think that's when you kind of get that favor. In 2022, when we lost to them by a low goal at the third place match, we didn't have this much saying we may not be that. But the fear factor now is because you have new crop of players coming in. Even at time when you didn't have the like Barbara playing in that 2022, not having three more extra players, front, and that tells you what can actually happen. I know goals they scored so far. Six goals they scored so far. Only two players, Bell and Barbara. So if you all these together, I think that's why the journalists here are kind of afraid. Some already say should do a book so that's how bad it is. Don't wait till the end of the game. But I think for me, I love the fact that people are not sure if the Falcons win or not. But I feel that yes, that tenacity we always have. We always about Nigerian spirit and everything. I just hope was that tomorrow evening.
All right.
Then we're able to skate through to the semi-final.
All right, that's what we hope to. But the coach has told us to calm down. So let's listen to one of the players, probably give us some assurance. But the calming down aspect, I don't understand. But let's listen to Ashley Ponta talk about the game against Zambia. And of course, Daniela is still with me. If he's going to calm down, I'll see when he starts talking. But let's listen to Ashley and come back for more.
Obviously, we were really proud to go through the group stage and not concede. As much as we have, obviously, people know us to have such good attacking threat, both starting and then the subs coming in as well. But we do take pride holistically as a whole team to defend well, protect our goal well. And I think you can tell in our games that we all defend as one and we try to attack as one. It's not like we're relying on one sole goal scorer or anything like that. I think we have threats that can come from numerous places. So I think that puts us in a good position against a team like this. Obviously, we know that Zambia have really good attacking threats, and we respect that. We obviously prepare well for that, but I said in the previous interview, we don't prepare for just two players. We prepare for Zambia as a whole team, because we know that if you get consumed on two players, they can have threats that come from different aspects, which is, I think, the same for us as well.
All right, Ashley Ponta, speaking our mind. For the last 30 seconds, we're arguing about choice of words in the studio. So let's just bring the viewers into this. So, Damilola, maybe you'll be bold enough to say whatever you said. In this contest, we're going to Austin a bit. In this contest, Cecilia has alluded to it somehow. But I want you to say, in this contest, is there clearly a slight favorite? Is there an underdog?
You want to put me in trouble.
But you said it.
If you have to look at our performance with Zambia over the last 3 games, I said it earlier, if you forget for a minute that you are Nigerian, and you judge basically on the performance that you've seen, the Super Falcons are more or less going into this tournament definitely not as a clear favorite, as the underdog, in my view.
You didn't skip a bit saying that, though.
I said what I said. You want to hear it, and I've said it, and I'm trying to defend it. And the reason is simple. You could even see for a Nigerian coach to come to the point of telling you to calm down. You could tell that even in Morocco, the enthusiasm, the confidence, the courage to say that we will win is not even there. I mean, a Nigerian coach at WAFCON is telling you anything can happen in a football match. We don't talk that way. Let's be honest here, we don't talk that way. Especially when the Nigerian coach is coaching the Super Falcons. The foreigners tend to. And we always get angry when they do that. That this is not our Super Falcons. We don't talk that way. But we've gotten to that point that we are beginning to accept the reality that we are not as dominant as we used to be.
All right. 2 sides to a coin, usually. So let's listen to the Zambians. I don't know if they're as confident as we think that they are in their speech preparing ahead of the game. So let's quickly listen to Barbara Banda. The much talked about Barbara Banda speaking ahead of the crucial tie against the Super Falcons of Nigeria.
we had a very good recovery from the group stage, and coming into the quarterfinals, we had about some days to rest and to have good recovery. So, which means we are good as a team. We are back with a good morale, and looking forward to tomorrow's game, meeting big stars like Asat. It just keeps me moving up and looking forward to do more better. And I know she's a very good player. She's been there before me and everything. I give much respect to her, but tomorrow's game is up for everybody. I mean, it's going to be an interesting game because I know we play in the same league, but this is different. This is Africa, and we know our football. We all have, we know our culture. It's different from the state and everything. So it's going to be competitive, and, at the end of the day, it's one team to win. So all what I can say is that I and the team, we are just ready for the game, and I'm looking up, and I'm so excited to play tomorrow.
She definitely wasn't sounding like an underdog. Scary times. All right. I mean, Austin, I don't know what to say, really. I mean, it's reality dawning on us. The gap virtually non-existent. If anybody told me 10, 15 years ago, I'll be on a show listening to Zambians talking about a game against the Super Falcons without any dread in their voice. I'll probably say it won't happen.
That's it. Oh, yeah, I mean, come on. They have the bragging rights. They won the last game against Nigeria. They won bronze at the last WAFCON. They have been to the World Cup. They have done so much to develop football in their country. So yeah, they should speak in a way that will motivate them to do more. Let me bring in Cecilia, so let her go get some rest. Cecilia, wrap this up for me in 1 minute. I know that's very difficult with you, but try to do it for me in 1 minute. What you saw with the Zambian team, and do they really pose any threat for tomorrow's match?
Austin, they do, really. I mean, I still have 3 of the players that we spoke to at the training. And the way they train, I saw the training was kind of, don't have to do that thing, he said in 1 minute. The way saw the short things they were doing, the way their trainings, and of course, really, the training is just like not so far from where we are, like in town, like travel the way they are. But the difference is these girls, the level of confidence in them is something I haven't seen before. So that's how confident they are. The coach said this game he wanted, he couldn't have, but it's at this crucial stage. Imagine the Super Falcons or Zambia will be out of the tournament at this stage. So it's something no anticipated. But yeah, of course, hoping and expecting something really different. But the level of confidence Austin is really infectious. So we watch them train. When you watch them talk, it's not a love they have among themselves. And they play the way they love. So there's just this unity among them. So, and of course, according to them, they have everything. They don't have anything to worry about. The thing they have to worry about is facing the Super Falcons and getting better out of them like this in 2022.
Wow. Tilia, thank you so much for your time on the show. We'll definitely speak to you tomorrow, and maybe when you're doing it, we'll all be smiling. Best wishes. I like it. Cecilia wrapped it up with the sign of the cross. Cecilia, I'll see her tomorrow. So that's it. Our colleague Cecilia Morley to us from Morocco. Yeah, I don't think if we've got so much time, but maybe we'll just touch what went down at the Under-19 FIBA Basketball World Cup.
All right, that'll be our parting shot on the show. I'll go across in a bit if the producers are ready for us. Okay, maybe we'll just put Damilola on the spot even as we go. A lot of people don't forgive you for calling the Super Falcons the underdog, but reality is what it is. In 30 seconds, what do you think we can do to win tomorrow?
The first thing is to stay in that game as long as we can. If you cannot get an early goal, don't concede too early, because this team has not shown the confidence. I feel like if we concede first, we'll panic. So stay in the game as much as we can. Don't be careless. You must accept the fact that you are not clear favorite, and so you don't have to go all out gun blazing. Be very disciplined. Because I know that at some point, the pressure will also get to the Zambians, and I hope we'll be able to take our chances.
All right. Hope is the word I never thought I'm going to hear talking about the Super Falcons. All right. In the Czech Republic, Nigeria's under-19 girls, Junior D Tigers, were in action. Round of 16 results. As you can see, United States beating China was a blowout. France beating Czech Republic. Israel losing narrowly to Portugal. Hungary defeated Nigeria. Australia defeated Argentina. South Korea also lost to Canada. Brazil losing to Japan. But of course, that game is what was painful. Classification game for 9 to 15 position. I must quickly say Mali didn't turn up for this tournament. That's why the classification is for 9 to 15 position. Let's see what happens when Nigeria takes on Argentina. Maybe we will be able to go into that upper positions in this one. We'll talk about this in detail tomorrow. So that's that for the FIBA Under-19 Women's Basketball World Cup. Austin, we've crossed the finish line. I really wish we had time, but we have to go.
Yeah. I mean, I really wish also an explosive game of football is going on in the quarterfinal of the Women's Euros. It's Sweden versus England. Yeah, I mean, in the second minute, Sweden scored. 25th minute, they doubled their lead. But you know, football, we thought it was going to be very difficult. 79th minute, England pulled one back. 81st minute, 2 minutes later, England leveled up. So at the moment, the game is in the 89th minute. Sweden 2, England 2. I don't know where it's going, but that's football for you. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, this is a wrap here in the Lagos studio. Before we go, I want to thank Damilola Fadi for his time on the show today.
I mean, pleasure being here. All the best to the Super Falcons.
Yeah. All the best to the Falcons. Before we go, our colleague Cecile Omologbe went around town in Morocco to find out why there's a low turnout of fans at the stadium. Here's a report she put together on the matter. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll do this again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.